The artist here live on Facebook, on YouTube. Duh, I can't remember where I am this morning, but welcome. It is, yes, I'm here at my studio, Overholt Art and Entertainment Studio, in the kitchen, hanging out where the best place to hang out is in the kitchen. So here I am, and here to welcome you to Cartooning Monday, where you learn a little bit about cartooning. And this is the best place to start. This is where I got my start whenever I started doing cartooning, right here at the kitchen table. And I have my handy dandy sketchbook with me. And I've got my favorite pencil, which you can tell I've used quite often because it's gotten down to like a little nib there. And I have my handy dandy eraser, which is a kneadable eraser that I can like pull apart and make use of that little bit there, or use this big hunk if I want to. Kneadable eraser. It's a go-to if you love to draw, if you love to do this kind of thing. This is where you start. You start with erasers because these are your godsend, and a pencil and something to write on. Now, back in the day when I was a baby, I just took whatever I had in my hands and smeared it on whatever. So we just went from there. I was doing it from the get go. So, and I'll just show you some of the things that I've done in the past, so you can take a look at how I do get my get my crazy ideas, like my monsters. Well, actually, this year for Inktober, which is like, this is my Inktober book. Stolen. This is from 2024. I might put 2025 in there if there's room. And it's stolen from Ryan Lee. I hope Ryan Lee doesn't mind. If he's watching, I love your book. Thank you very much for letting me have it. And yeah, so I have put all kinds of interesting, weird, and wonderful pictures on there. You know. And just draw all the time. Draw whenever you get a chance. Draw things that make you laugh, that make you cry, that make you feel a little bit more at home. Draw all the time. So yeah, I tell people, this is how you get started. As long as you know your ABCs, your one, two, threes, and just know how to make basic shapes like I have shown you here. Like you use your square, your circle, and your triangle. You combine them all, and you make some interesting shapes on your own with all kinds of different things like that. And your ABCs and one, two, threes, or backwards ABC one, two, three, or BCA and one, two, three. But and when you get good, you can do stuff like this, and work on drawings and stuff like that. And you get really good, and you start doing paintings and portraits and all kinds of great things. All depends on what you like to do. Now, I was showing this one lately too, and I dug it back up again. I want to finish it because it's almost done. This is my Hobbit's journal, and it's got all the characters from the book. I've got like what's his name going to defeat the orcs. I've got the one part where what's his name's got the orb, that one part, and I've got let me just see. Um, there's other things that they talk about in the actual book, like the twins, and what else here? Of course, I do people's portraits and stuff like that. Gimli and Aragorn and Legolas. And here's Aragorn. There you go. There you go. So yeah, and this is kind of like, this is a little bit more realistic stuff you want to do if you wanted to do it, kind of thing. But we start off with just basic drawings, Now, this is fun. This is my kind of fun that I enjoy doing. And this is what I'm showing you. You just get started and you just go for it and just start drawing. Draw as much as you can. Whenever you can, start with your basics, okay? Just start with drawing the basics. And today, I'm hoping I got a new camera and I'm working with it. I hope you like the quality. And I'm going to just show you on this next page, which is a blank page, of how to just get you started with starting to do just basically some cartooning. Do some cartooning on there, okay? So let me see. I'll see about switching this around so you can see if this works. There we go. All right, I'll put this down here so you can see it the right way around. All right, and over here as well, if you're working with pencils, you know, you get your pencil here, and you got my eraser here as well. Okay, so you got pencil, get rid eraser, and I have my book to get it all started on. And you know what? Like I say, we start with the basics. Now over on the side here, okay, next to all my accoutrement to put on your steaks and stuff. Here, let me tip it down a little bit. All right, so here we have all of my pens that I use for when I'm doing, and I'll show you this today. There's all kinds of different ones. So these are of course, the microns, and a lot of artists love these microns, and I'll show you. I've got a whole whack of them. Now some of them have different percentages on them, like that one. Oops, is an 05. This one is a brush, so this one's a little bit different. This one doesn't have a specific range on it. I'll show you that one later. This one is an 05 as well. And sometimes they're different colors because I use different colors especially when I'm doing the Hobbit's Journal. And that one's an 08, so it's a little bit thicker. There we go, if we can concentrate on this. There we go, you can see it's a little bit thicker. That's a nice thick one as comparison to the 05, which I'll show you here. It's a little bit smaller, as you can kind of see that. There you go, it's a little bit smaller. And then we have, oh yeah, the brush. I got a couple brushes. I got a couple brush ones, and I'll show you why. Okay, because I use brushes a lot because you can get thick and thin. You get used to pressing hard. You can get thick lines. You press thinner, you get skinnier lines. But I'll show you both of these as well. And if you get close, here, I'll put you right to the paper here. You might be able to see a little bit better. One's a little bit sharper than the other two. So let me see if I can get this to... So one's a little bit sharper than the other, and one has a little bit more ink than the other, so I'll show you here too. So when I use these ones, one will be like just for shading. Oh, maybe it's the other one. So this one's kind of nice. This one's nice. And I'm going light with this, so nice light with that. And in comparison to the other one, which is I'm pressing almost just as hard, and I'm getting a nice shading to go with it. So even when they're running out, they're still useful because you can use it for shading. If you're going dark with a shadow and then light with shading, you can always just use it that way. And sometimes you can take the darker one, and if you go really light, you can kind of blend it a little bit to blend it in. So there you go. There's a kind of an idea of how to use these markers, especially the brush markers. Let me go back to the first one. That's got the little bit more ink in there. So you can see you can make like a nice thin line like that. Or if you press a little bit harder, you can get like a harder, darker line kind of thing. There you go. So that gives you a bit of an idea if you've never drawn before with certain markers. And of course, you don't hold it like this. You have to hold your marker like this. And you know, when you draw, just draw. Yeah, like you could even just make little shapes. And the little shapes can eventually turn into something. If it looks like something, you keep drawing with it until it looks like something, you know. It's a relaxing thing to do, really, to draw, is sit and just draw, right? So that just gives you a little bit of an idea. I'll move this over a little bit so I can show you. So this is the lighter one, or is it, hold on, I'm getting them mixed up. Okay, this is the darker one. So yeah, even with this one, you can like blend it with the other one there. And it might start looking like something, or might not look like anything at all. But you use it enough and it starts to wear down, keep it and start just pressing harder on it, and you can use it for shadow and things like that. So this gives you an idea of how you can play around with different ideas, dark and with lighter shades. Holy shades of green. And it all depends on which way you move the pen too, because you can get little flicks like that, get like ideas like that, or you can go in the opposite direction and make things like that. And you can also make like an explosion kind of thing if you go. It almost looks like an explosion, like almost like when you see fireworks going off. Or you can make it into a flower. It all depends on which way you flick. That can make all the difference as well. It's pick and flick, no. But you can make all kinds of designs and lines and all kinds of different things. It might look like something, or it might not look like anything at all. Use your imagination. That's the other thing that I say, is always use your imagination and play with what you have. You'll come up with ideas sometimes when you're not even expecting it. And that's the fun thing about doing these things. Okay, so there's those kind of brushes. Now, that's what those are. And those are really cool for using for, especially when you're doing dynamic designs. But when you want nice straight lines, you want to have a nice one that has a nice line where you can get nice thin lines. Like that. And this is called cross hatching, where you go back and forth like this. You can go this way, and then you can go this way. And the more you do it, the deeper you go, the more lines you use, the darker it gets, kind of thing. But there you go. Just the basic idea of something, how you can just kind of use these small, thin ones, or when you get into something a little bit thicker, like a number one is just like a marker. It's just like a regular marker. Well, this one's a little bit dry, so I use it for shadow as well right now. But as you can hear it's dry. It's dry. You know what dry markers sound like. That's a dry marker. And this one is a 05 as well. Like I say, sometimes that's a brown. That's what I use for the Hobbit ones. This is an 02, which is a little bit smaller, even tinier. So you can get those little tiny, fine lines. You see how thin the lines can get with that? Tiny for all those tiny little itty bitty lines that you can't get, like you want to use like for details and stuff to get really kind of in the details there. This is the one that you use, the tiny one. And wait, let me see, where's the, okay, that's no 05. That one's, okay, so the 08 one is, like I say, a little bit on the thicker side. It's a thicker one, so the kind of lines that you get with this one, obviously, are going to be a lot thicker too. So, and you play with it. You kind of get yourself going with some ideas of what you want to do for drawing. There we go. He almost looks like a falls, Niagara Falls kind of thing happening here. You can just continue it over here. Or pretend like I am. There we go. It's a little bit different, as you can tell, when you use a pen like this, as in comparison to, say, the brush. Obviously, this one has that little bit of, has that marker feel to it. Where these definitely are more pen-like, and they're more for straight lines and doing, if you were doing architecture, or if you were doing like specific things. But when you're doing like shadow and just a little bit of highlights and stuff like that, the brush is awesome. My friend, when I got into college, was using these constantly, and I could never get the handle on it. It takes a good hand to get into these ones. So if you start early using a brush like this, yeah, if you get it good at using these things, this is where it comes in handy. These brush ones are really, really good, especially if you like to do comic book art. And comic book art is a lot like very much very thin lines and stuff like that. Actually, nowadays they also do it on computer, so you really don't have to worry about line quality anymore if you have an idea. Sometimes drawing it is great, but now you can let the computers do it for you, which takes up, less time and gives you more time to be thinking about the idea that you have for what the next step would be. Okay, so anyways, this is just showing you how the different pens work. And of course, there's our handy dandy pencil, which, is always great for just for doing any kind of shading like that. And you can go from dark to light like that. And the great thing too is you can smudge it, and you can get all kinds of different lights and shadows just by smudging it a little bit too. And there's the other thing where you have the handy dandy eraser. When you do a smudge like that and you want to just have something in particular coming in, say, okay, so you can make it like a little tiny point like that. You see, like that. And then you can do like a, you see how that does that? So if you have like little hairs, if you're doing um, say a pet portrait and you want something specific, you have to certain little dots and spots. You can use this nice handy dandy eraser. Now, when you're doing paint, it's something different, so you can't do that same kind of thing. But with using a pencil, I mean, look at you can get all kind. Of course, when you use pencil and you don't, you smudge your hands. This is what happens. It gets so when you're drawing with a pencil, obviously, like I say, you don't hold it like you're holding on to a pen and hold it like this. You have to hold it like this. So that way, if you hold it like this, you're going to get all this on the bottom of here. And if you just hold it like this, that allows you to get your hand off the paper. You can always lean your arm against the table, but you get your hand off the table and you won't smudge and get all kinds of mess like that going on. But there you go. Gives you a little bit of an idea of, using your materials for something. You have the paper, you have the pencil, you have the erasers. There's your eraser. The kneadable eraser, which is like say is the greatest thing in the world. This one I've had since college, and this is only one half of it. The other half is quite huge. Yeah. So I do this just to show you how you can use your different utensils, your different pens and pencils for drawing. And that's basically the idea for today for you, just to get you out there, get drawing, get your own little pad of paper, get your erasers and markers and pens and just start. You got to start somewhere. Now, let me just give you a little bit of a sample too of, I'll turn this way. Because, there's no real up or down for what I'm doing today. I'm just showing you quick little things here. So I'm going to just show you a little bit about making cartoons, all right? So obviously, Cartooning Monday, you have to start somewhere. Now we'll start with a number 5, but we won't make it the brown one. We want the black one. Okay. Which one's the black one? This is the black one. Okay, so this is the number 5. This is this is the basic one to start off with because it's not too thin, not too thick of a pen to use. And so you start with just if you make. Let me change it around because okay, well when you're doing the pen, I'll just show you. You can just make your circles. And then you can make your faces like that. Simple, quick, and easy. Let's see if I can tap you a little bit closer there too. Yeah, there we go. All right, so you can make faces with the pens are great. When you with an 05, it's perfect. It's not too thick. It's not too thin. You can make great lines, and you can make it a little bit darker, so you can make like light lines like that. Or if you want to go a little bit darker, you can actually press a little bit harder and go a little bit darker. But yeah, when you're making designs for faces. You know, you can start with circles. I love doing caricatures of people, so I always like making people looking a little bit different from what they usually do. So you can start with some like little designs like that. Make little faces and stuff like that. Come up with ideas. There we go. Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah, it's just this is just giving you some kind of ideas. Now, I usually practice with just playing with the pens and getting used to making little shapes and stuff like that. And I always tell people, if you want to start, you just gotta start. And the more you practice, the better you get. It's just a matter of getting all the practice in. Oh, that looks like a mole with hair in it. I'm kidding. Yeah, so you can just design all kinds of different things if you wanted to. I'm trying it without like looking at it, so I'm just making odd ones here and there. But design whatever you like. This is what I'm trying to show you. Just pen to paper, you come up with all kinds of ideas. So and if you're going to be using a pencil, change the way you hold your pen and do it like that instead. Now this is like I say, just a sample page, and what I do on my other pages here. But let me switch you around. Hold on a second. There we go. All right, hold on. Yeah. So yeah, that just gives you a little bit of an idea. Now this is backwards again, but that's okay. I just wanted to show you, give you a little bit of cartooning for Cartooning Monday because that's what it's here for. So just showing you the basics of learning the tools and getting down to drawing. So I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Magic Tuesday, where I give you a nice tarot card reading and we talk about art and magic and the magic of illusion of art and the neat things that it can do, like making it look like there's a cow and a pig and a chicken and a fish. But they're not really here, but they look like those, right? Yeah, the illusion of something being here when they're not. That is a bottle of wine over there with a little glass. It's not actually here, but that's what those are. The illusion of art, yes, and those are my designs too. If you like something like that in your home, call me. I'm a muralist in the Niagara area. Not only am I doing sign designs, logos, and all kinds of different things, teach you how to paint and draw, but I also do stuff for myself. And if you'd like something done for you from me, which I'm working on something as you can, I told you the other day. Sorry, I'm cleaned up. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Tomorrow's Magic Tuesday, and I will see you Magic Tuesday for that. And in the meantime, I hope you have a great day, and I hope you have a good one. I don't know what else to tell you. Wednesday is Wellness Wednesday, where I use art therapy. Thursday is Entertainment Thursday, where I'm a ham for you and I play a little ukulele. I think I forgot about last Thursday, but that's okay. We can make up for it this Thursday. And I think Friday is Feedback Friday. I think I did a good Feedback Friday, but we'll see what this one's going to come up with too. So we got all week. I give you the weekend off so you don't have to deal with me all the time. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Now, if you want to, click that little subscribe button. If you're not, subscribe. Hang out with me for a little while. I will show you the progression of my book, and, I'll let you see how the rest of it goes, right down to the end with the mouth of Sauron and the crowns and all the other things that still are to go for the Lord of the Rings stuff. I love this stuff, and I hope you love it too. And I'm so glad the ones that those of you who are loving it, I'm glad that you are. And thank you very much for tuning in. Peace, oh brother. Oh. Peace, oh brother, with a little bit added, as my mama used to say. And thank you for being here. You're the best, you guys. I will add a little bit of theme music, and eventually I will do like a little segments, segments, and I will put them up for you, and we will get a more professional going. And I'm authentic. I'm 100%. This is me in the little shoebox. How did I get in the shoebox? But I'm here, and I'm here for you. And I hope you have a fantastic day. And if you want me to do more makeup, let me know too in the comments below. And in the meantime, thank you very much for tuning in. And I'm sorry I had to put my finger in front of you. Yes, I think I am good.